Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping into a health revolution that's, well, it's happening literally right on our wrists. We're setting up a showdown between two major players, that constant stream of data from your smartwatch versus the rock-solid precision of a traditional lab test. And this is the big question, isn't it? Can that cool little gadget that tracks your steps and your sleep really take the place of a clinical lab? Let's really unpack what each of these tools brings to the table when it comes to your health.
So to start, maybe let's not think of them as competitors at all. Instead, think of them as two totally different kinds of guardians. Both of them have a unique and I'd say vital role in looking after our well-being.
Okay, so on one hand, you've got your wearable. This is like your personal health coach. It's with you 24/7, mapping out the trends, the ups and downs of your vitals. But then you've got the lab test. That's your specialist, the one who gives you that super precise diagnostic snapshot of one single moment in time. So one shows the entire movie, the other gives you a perfectly clear photo of a key scene. All right, so let's dig a little deeper into that difference between the constant watch and the deep dive, because it really all boils down to accuracy and what that actually means when you have to make real health decisions.
And let's be super clear about this. When the time comes to get a final, definitive, diagnosable result, the kind a doctor needs to prescribe a treatment, traditional lab tests are and have always been the undisputed gold standard. No question about it.
And here's a look at what that really means in numbers. Lab tests, they can get up to 99% accuracy for important biomarkers. Now, wearables are getting amazingly good, often hitting somewhere between 85, maybe 90% accuracy for tracking trends. And that's fantastic for day-to-day monitoring. But that little gap, that 10% difference in precision, that's exactly why you still need that lab test for an official diagnosis.
But, numbers on a screen are one thing. What about for actual people in their day-to-day lives? Let's take a look at a couple of real-world experiences. First, meet Nora. She's 32 and has diabetes. For her, a continuous glucose monitor isn't just some cool tech, it's a lifeline. It actually wakes her up if her blood sugar drops dangerously low while she's sleeping. A regular lab test done every few months, it could never do that. Her story is just a perfect, powerful example of how that constant monitoring can be a literal lifesaver.
Now on the flip side, we have Ali's story. His smartwatch was giving him blood pressure readings that were, well, all over the place. And that created a ton of uncertainty, a lot of anxiety, and it ended with him going back to the lab anyway, just to get a reliable number. It really highlights that potential downside. Sometimes questionable accuracy can create more stress than it actually helps relieve.
So, when you take these two different experiences, what's the big picture? How do people generally feel? Well, a 2023 study found that even with occasional issues like Ali's, a huge majority, we're talking 70% of users, feel their wearables make them feel empowered, like they have more control over their own health. And that feeling, that's a really powerful thing.
And all of this brings us to what might be the single most important point of this entire explainer. The debate really shouldn't be about choosing one over the other. The real future, the actual powerful solution, is figuring out how to make them work together. So how do you actually do that?
Well, think of it like building your own personal health team. It's a simple three-step process. First, you use your wearable to track your daily trends, the rhythm of your body. Step 2, you take all that data and you share it with your doctor. It gives them amazing context. And then step 3, you use the lab tests to confirm any big trends and help guide the major decisions about your long-term treatment.
Okay, but does this partnership approach really work? Oh, you bet it does. The data is pretty clear. When patients actually use their wearable data as part of their clinical care, their compliance with treatment plans, meaning how well they stick to what the doctor prescribed, it shoots up by 30%. People are just more engaged.
And what really matters, of course, is the result: better health. This combined approach doesn't just feel better, it leads to a 25% measurable improvement in clinical outcomes. That means people are getting quantifiably, provably healthier when these two tools work hand in hand.
So, as we start to wrap this all up, let's look ahead. What does all of this really mean for the future of your health?
If you remember just 3 things, make it these. Number 1, wearables are your coach. They are perfect for tracking the ongoing story of your health trends. Number 2,
Lab tests are your specialist. They are the gold standard when you absolutely need accuracy. And number 3, the real magic, the real power, happens when you bring them both together. That's the best strategy for managing your health.
At the end of the day, all this data, the stuff from your wrist and the stuff from the lab, it's all telling the story of you. So the real question isn't about which tool is better. The real question is, how are you going to use these tools together to take control and write your next, and hopefully your healthiest chapter?